welcome to Let's Be Love. This is your girl V, and today I have a lovely couple, Crystal and Stan. Thank you for joining us.
Good
Good
morning.
to be here.
Thank you for having us.
When I say the word love, what's the first thing that comes to your mind?
Compromise.
Beauty.
And Stan, I know I discovered you on Instagram. You have an amazing company called Trans Entertainment Network. If you could tell us a little bit about your company.
Well, it's a management label company dedicated solely to trans artists.
And you founded it in what year?
2015.
Now, tell me a little bit about the two of you as a couple and your dating background. Maybe Stan, if you could just tell me like where you grew up and your background.
I grew up in Chicago, Illinois, and I got involved with the music business back in 2006, 2007, and we, I was working with hardcore hip hop artists. And then in 2010, I moved to Atlanta because to keep pursuing the music business. And at that time, I was asked to coordinate the Atlanta Underground Music Awards for the talent. And instead of having showcases, I wanted to highlight an LGBT night. And from that, it just kind of grew. We had trans artists from all over the country, and they decided to, like, hey, this is a platform that you can, with. And so that's how it all started.
And your dating background.
As far as dating, I've always dated trans women. I've dated cis women as well. That was, society and, you know, those kind of things, social. But I always liked, back in high school, I always liked the Femi boys. And then this transition that men go through too that people don't understand. So after that, then I started dating like drag queens and that bona fide transsexual, women that live their lives as trans. And so actually, so all my life, I've always knew what I wanted.
And Crystal, what about your dating background?
I actually didn't start dating until I transitioned. After high school, I didn't date in high school. Nobody wanted me before that.
Wow. Now, now, how did the two of you meet and when?
We met in 2016. Um, we're both from Chicago. We live in Atlanta right now. But when I was living in Chicago, he was already here in Atlanta. But I was in a music group, two other trans women of color. And one of those girls told me like there's this guy in Atlanta who has a management label company, and I'm like, okay. And she's like, but it's for trans women, and I'm like, okay, like really, like who is this? Like who does that? Like who rocks with us like that? So I had to find out who it was, and obviously I had aspirations to work with him, not thinking that it would actually happen. So I reached out to him to manage the group. Long story short, and I sent him a video of me singing Killing Me Softly. And he happened to be in Chicago that day. And he was like, okay, well, I'm actually in Chicago. I can come. Because he has a lot, his family. So is mine, still in Chicago. So he said, I can come out and meet you today. And we met that day. I played my music for him. And he put me on 10.
It was an event in Chicago, and I wanted Crystal to perform there. Me and a couple other trans artists were coming from Atlanta to Chicago, and they were coming to perform at the event as well. It was different. I mean, it was different from the day I met her, just with about the music. This really wasn't supposed to be a date. This was supposed to be something for me to be making up for her, for that past night. And then I was going to be heading back to Atlanta. And then I wound up staying a few more days in Chicago, and then just we went on to an art gallery for our first date. And like I said, it was not supposed to. It wasn't meant to happen at that time to me. You know, I wasn't expecting anything.
Well,
And
I love that. I love that the two of you found love when you weren't looking for it. You
right,
were
yeah,
just working. You trying to do what you love, trying to do your music, and you were also living your true, authentic lives.
right.
That's
Yeah.
the best time to find love.
And see,
Yeah.
the thing is, we went a while without even having sex. So it
Mhm.
wasn't even like hookup stuff or nothing like that. You know, what I happened was I had a friend first, you know, and that's what it turned out to be in the beginning, you know. And but we didn't even do sex or anything. It didn't even, you know, we just kind of waited, and it was worth the wait.
Wow. Now,
His
how has your family responded? Do you have support from your family, friends?
father is a pastor. So his main concern with me initially when I started my transition was my safety more than anything. He never turned his back on me and he never shunned me for who I was. He never threw the Bible in my face and tried to change me. He never did that. He genuinely was concerned with my safety. But he
Mm,
loves me and supports me as his child, no matter what. You know what I mean? He might not agree with everything, but he loves me, and I know that for a fact. And he does support me. I have a small family, but he's met them all. He's the only person who has. So they support me. You know, especially when I moved away from Chicago to Atlanta because it was my first time really leaving home. And so everybody wants to know, well, who is this person who could just uproot Crystal from everything she knows and loves. So
wow.
things have been great. It was rough in the beginning. Our relationship, we had a lot to. I mean, things went fast. We met each other. I kind of, moved in, within that same year with him, and we started living together. We're under one roof, and trying to figure things out. And we're business partners because I am the president of Trans Entertainment Network as well as an artist under his management. So it was a lot, not to mention all the different personalities with all the artists. It was a lot, a lot, a lot. But we have ironed out so much. I know we still have a long way to go. We're still growing, still learning each other, still learning patience and how to, deal and talk to each other, all of that. But
Hmm.
what for sure is we love each other unconditionally, and we're both willing to do the work that it takes to make any relationship or whatever you have going on.
Well, you've been together for almost 5 years, and that's just like any other
Yeah,
relationship. It
for
is a
going
process to get to know each other.
exactly.
Wow. Now, um, you mentioned the that your father is a pastor, and it was a process for him to come around. Every family member goes through that. It's good to hear that they have eventually come around and that they're still a part of your life.
It's so funny because my father is, I mean, obviously is a spiritual person. The first time that he's seen me as a woman, I just ran into him at the park. And he like
Wow.
told me to come here, that I was gonna see you here, and this is what I needed to see. This is what I needed to know. And then he's funny. My dad is funny. He was like, "Is that just a fitted T-shirt? So what you got on?" Like, like he's funny. He's like, "Is that a lace front? Like, what is that?"
Wow.
He turned that what I thought was gonna be because I pulled up in a convertible. This is with the roof down. I couldn't hide. No matter what I had on, he was talking. And it was like as soon as I pulled in the parking lot, he just looked dead at me, and I was just like, "What is he doing here?"
Wow. From a business perspective, have you had support? or have you had the opposite reaction? Do you have people who will not do business with you?
Yeah, I mean, when I got into well, I never had issues before, and once I got into a relationship, it just seemed to change people's attitudes toward me. Even the artists that I was working with originally, they felt some kind of way. I never understood that. I mean, everybody lives their lives, and I never even questioned things about their lives. You got boyfriends and stuff like that. It became an issue. Yeah. Okay.
So once they knew you were in a relationship with Crystal, you had some issues, huh?
Right, 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 right.
Wow.
You both
And
did.
and were there people who you maybe wanted to do a showcase at their venue, but they would not accept your artists because your artists are trans individuals?
Never had that happen. Never.
Wow.
I've had some concerns about it. But one thing about a lot of the trans girls is that they, in order to live their truth, they have to have a certain degree of skin. They have to be they got to be tough.
Resilience.
Yeah, so when they would hit certain venues, and some I was concerned about, like, wow, I don't know. They would just get up there and demand a stage and just do it. And then, especially, I remember one particular show, and I was really skeptical about this place. And it was just all these hardcore thug hip hop artists. And she got up on that stage and just tore it up to the point, hey, we want to book her again. It was amazing. So, and that's where a lot of let's say guys that are down low,
Hmm.
you know, you start seeing it like, and then when they see, wow, damn, this guy is out front with this, you know. So, and then a lot of them will hit me up. They will message me and ask me, hey, how can I meet some girls? And it's not, yeah. So, or advice on how, just my thing was when I get them advice is I just stopped living my life with, for other people. What I think other people, street with them, all that kind of stuff. Because you can't satisfy people. You can't satisfy everybody. So my whole thing is just do you. Period. Don't put me in a box. Don't put me in a label. We come out here to perform. Yeah, these are trans artists, but they're artists, and that's the bottom line. You know, it has nothing to do with what's between their legs and how they were born. Right now, and it's a platform for the girls to go out and show. And we just came back from New York. We did a show out there, and that was another place that was a straight club that booked us. And one of the girls I got is hardcore hip hop, and she's got the biggie boobs and everything. She likes to show them. She go on that stage, I almost like, oh no, and the guys start feeling it. Then when Crystal got up and performed, just watching the crowd sing her music, and just get involved because so that's what's up.
And your artists are not lip syncing like
No,
you typically see in drag shows.
no, they bona fide recording artists. And like that's part of the issue that we have sometimes because mainstream society, RuPaul is very big, and drag shows have been around forever. And a lot of trans girls started off doing drag,
I still
so
do.
and still do. And the thing is just drawing the difference. And so a lot of straight men, even down low men, feel secure around drag queens because that's a man that just does the art form being a woman. So um, we don't do that, and a lot. So once people find out that hey, this is real talent, it's an envy that even a lot of straight people have, because we're not the stereotype. We did a show one day, and we did bona fide talent. Then they brought a drag king on, female to male, and all he did was lip sync a song, and the crowd just went nuts. And I told Crystal, I said, "Hell, I can get up and do this. I get some tips." Always hit you up for music about it. Once they see the work that it takes to put in it, that's when they kind of back off. That's why when I go into when people ask about management, excuse me, we got to identify what a manager is. A manager is just what it is. You are paid to manage the product. Tammy is a manager to manage your product. So you have to invest in yourself. A lot of girls don't understand that part of it, and that's part of how things change all the time. So it's like even with boyfriends, I tell every girl, make sure that your significant other supports what you're doing. And I've heard it a million times. He's behind me, he supports me. And even when I talk to them, you know, they tell me the same thing. I'm behind her 100%, anything she needs. Now, once they start seeing things taking off a little bit for her, and they start seeing things, and she starts seeing doing shows, now that's when the issues come.
Hmm.
And then they sit back and start creating agendas then. Oh, he's only helping you because he want to take you to bed. He's only doing this because of this. You know, all of a sudden it changed now. Before you were behind all of it, and then they started doing the girls' ultimatums. Either it's me or you do the music. But a lot of the girls, the guys are really supporting them with, financially. So they have to, so that happens a lot.
I'm not trying to be the standout artist of 10. I want 10 to make it as a whole. And we have very talented artists on our label. That's why when we go to these venues, we often get the best response from the crowds because we are actually talented. Our music sounds good. People like to hear it. People want to listen to it. And we don't always just tackle, at least I don't in my music, just trans issues. We are striving to be mainstream artists. And that's another thing that we want people to know. Everybody's transition is individual. It's not cookie cutter. There's no rules to, what should happen, who should be dating who. Trans couples, there are trans couples where there's a trans man and a trans woman, or two trans women, or whatever. People can do what they want to do. But we're just trying to normalize trans living. And, people are afraid of what they don't know, so we're here to educate you on what it is and get our music heard.